Hey you! Welcome to You Need a Bento. I'm Willow. Here we discuss all things bento related, from recipes to reviews, tips, and even some history. If you're interested, consider subscribing so you don't miss anything. You hungry? Let's make onigiri. So we're going to start with our freshly cooked rice. In this bowl we have a bit more than half a cup of freshly cooked rice, and we're going to go a little bit traditional with this one. It will be vinegar, salt, and peas. And we're going to wrap this up in the traditional triangle shape. Salt, about a teaspoon. You can add a little bit less or a little bit more. You can always add more salt if you want to later. Vinegar. Today I'm using a rice vinegar. I usually do use a rice vinegar, but you can experiment with different ones. See what you like. Peas. I usually use frozen peas just for convenience, but you can use fresh, snap peas. I've used edamame in the past and that was really nice. There. Now for this one, I'm going to use a mold. I will link it in the description if I can find it still. It looks like this. Nice hinges. If you watch the unboxing video, this was in it. It has holes for the stuffed version of a rice ball, but I find this holds a lot of rice. Now I keep a little bitty spray bottle from the dollar store with water handy. The insides of these molds have to be gotten wet or they will stick. You can do that under the tap too if that works better for you. You'll see how much this holds. I find it makes two very respectable sized rice balls. Set the top in, give it a press. Try not to press too hard though. You could make rice paste and that's really not pleasant. You just push on here. There. Perfect rice balls. Next, we're going to do a slightly stuffed rice ball concept with plum paste, but this one's going to be hand formed. So we'll need a piece of saran wrap and more rice. Get your rice spatula wet before you use it, and that way your rice won't stick to itself, or stick to it. We're going to take maybe about half this rice, because this is quite a bit. Now you're just going to fold up the corners. I have had no luck with the rice shaping by hand kind of this way that you see done. It's always given me a weird bottom. So usually what I'll do is press it, make sure you twist your saran wrap at least once, press it into the board, and then shape it that way. If you have maybe a triangular container or something, that can work as well. Now that we have a roughly triangular shape, I'm going to open it up. This is plum paste. So you can get pickled plums in your Asian grocery store, which have a pit in the middle, which can be a bit problematic. Or you can just get plum paste. It comes in this really squishy bottle, kind of like the Kewpie mayo, so that it's really easy to get everything out. What I like to do with this one, because you're not going to eat it in one bite, is to stuff the corners, because those you will eat in one bite. So for me personally, I don't bother making a pre-hole. Just stick it in and squeeze a bit in. See? You just see a little bit in there. Plum paste is very strong, so don't use too much or you might make some funny faces. And just make sure when you're done, you wipe off the edge of, or the spout of your plum paste. Now you can wrap these with nori, or you can just sprinkle little sesame seeds on like I do. And don't be afraid to wrap your rice balls in the saran wrap that you've rolled them in for putting into your lunchbox. There's nothing wrong with that, and it makes it easier to eat if you are not a big fan of nori. Last one is we're going to do a little bit of rice seasoning. This is the rice seasoning that I'm using today. My lights are going to make it very hard to read. It's an ebi fumi furikake, which is ebi being shrimp. So the main flavor that you're going to get out of this is kind of a shrimpy flavor, but it's got a lot of, if you can read the ingredients, it's got a lot of other things in it. So it's a nice rounded flavor. For this, I'm going to use the small round mold. Makes little tiny barrel shaped onigiri. Remember to wet all of your tools so that you don't get rice sticking to everything. Now when you're filling these, understand that the middle portions need to connect. So try not to fill it until it's completely, I don't know if the camera will pick that up, but it's not quite all the way to the bottom. You want room for the top to push down into the bottom. So you put it in, give it a squish, and if you can see, the rice is now filling that bottom cavity there without crushing your rice. We're just going to push this out, side down onto the board. And then these, I find it works best if you work with kind of a peeling motion instead of just pulling it straight across or straight apart. And you can either mix your rice seasoning into your rice first and roll them that way, or you can dip them in later. It's completely up to you. And there you are. 3 different kinds of rice balls for 3 different tastes. I hope this helps you in your bento journey. Thanks so much for watching. I love you all. Take care, and I'll see you soon.